Fellow YouTubers, it's me here again. Today we're going to do a review on another kaiju that, along with Astromons, I decided to do a review on as well. Today we're going to take a look at another AliExpress toy, and this one here is Black King from The Return of Ultraman, or Ultraman Jack. Yes. I've been wanting to get this guy for a while, and I don't know why, but for some reason, this thing is too big. I'm gonna have to resize it, be back. Alright, so there we go. So let's take a look at the figure first. So, he is part of the, he's from the AliExpress series, as you can see. You can actually see there's a picture of him. I don't know why the sticker blocks it, unfortunately. Looks like he's from the Ultra Galaxy Neo, and this is like the old one, to where he's like along with his master alien Knuckle, who was actually a piece of crap. Sorry for my language, but you can ask people why is Knuckle Sajin is awful. Go to the Wikipedia and Google him. But right now we're not going to talk about him. We're going to talk about Black King, known as the bodyguard monster. How cool is that? I like bodyguards. They're very cool for celebrities. Okay, whatever. Alright, so all I have to do before we take a review on him is I have to cut the tag first. And yes, it's very annoying, and because of it I have to use my nail. Don't like doing it, actually. It's annoying. But, what can you do? Nothing you can do about it. There is a way you can get rid of the tags easier. Although you do want to save these. In fact, this is his signature. He's 65 meters, 6,000 tons. And I think that's like his information of who he is. But I somehow know it, so it's not like... I mean, if you want, you could translate it, but whatever. Just gonna throw it away. We don't need it right now. We need the monster review. So let's take a look at the details first, shall we? Now, the details on him are actually very good. The only details that are missing is the spikes here. Unfortunately, the spikes here are supposed to be gold, like the tail spikes. I don't know why they're all just black, but, I mean, if you want, you could also paint it, but I'm not gonna risk damaging the figure or trying to ruin it like that. I'm just gonna leave it how it is and stuff. But he does have nice details on the tail. It's like gold. I like it. I don't know if his fangs are supposed to be gold, but they look interesting. And his teeth are sculpted, but not fully sculpted, but they do look nice. And so is the horn. Horn kind of reminds you of an Elvis Presley cut, or whatever you call that. Kind of looks like the same horn that Tyrant has. I'm pretty sure it is. But I'm not going to discuss that. We'll probably discuss that later. He has like gold toenails and fingernails. He doesn't even have thumbs. He only has like 3 fingers, like paws. But looks cool at the same time. He looks very similar to the Red King monster, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, in fact, some people even say that he's supposed to be his older brother or something. If they still continued it, they would look like brothers anyways. In fact, they both have the similar, I call this the corn, I don't know, raffle texture, whatever that is, ruffle texture. I don't know how you call that, but it looks interesting. There's been some other monsters that have ruffle skin like that. Very interesting. But, yeah, that's, since he's just, like, he has some nice details, but it's, for a toy like this, he's not going to have much since he's a kid's toy. You might as well just get an X+, but he is pretty good. So, I mean, in fact, I got him for a decent price on AliExpress. If you got him on eBay, you would have had not only got a smaller version of this, in fact, this is actually larger. It would have been for a pricier price. In fact, the older Black Kings are nowadays expensive because they're being sold a lot. And there's, like, most of them always have a paint job that's just very ugly and stuff. It's not very great, so if you're into the Black King monster, if you're into Black King, I recommend this particular one. It's from AliExpress. And the material on it is quite good. And I forgot to mention, the Astromons monster, by the way, flies, and the quality of it is quite nice. He's kind of squishy. This one, it's not as squishy, but it kind of, I mean, it's sort of like, let's see. Yeah, it's flexible. You can, like, you know, but I'm not going to bother it a lot. I'm just going to, you know, leave it as is. I like the design of it as well. It looks realistic. So that's the details. The details are good. Except for the back part. I don't know why they're all, like, they should be painted gold. But anyway, yeah. So now we're going to get into articulation. He actually has 4 points, unfortunately. It's like the Barba monster. His arms can rotate 360 degrees very smoothly. His torso, for whatever reason, moves. I don't know why. Yeah, his torso moves, which I don't know why it should. In fact, it kind of looks a little bit ugly, but it's not as terrible. It looks okay, I guess. And the tail, it's a little bit loose, not too loose, but it's just, it moves good, like it moves smoothly. No head or leg articulation. That's okay. You could just do this anyways. I don't even know what the point of having articulating legs are anyways. So that's the articulation. He only has 4 points. Details are quite nice. Now let's get on to the height and size comparison. Now, I don't remember the scale of him, but from the card it says that he is 65 meters. Now, I recently did a review on this, but I'm just going to. In fact, he kind of looks a little bit like him anyways. Not exactly. Is Astromons from Ultraman Taro. I think Black King is bigger than Astromons. If not, to me, they look like the same size. But since Black King is 65 and Astromons is 60 meters, this, I guess, it doesn't look bad. I think it looks good. Although I think since he's 65, he should be a little bit bigger. But because these were made from, like, suit actors, they're obviously going to be the same size. But he looks okay with Astromon, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. In fact, yeah, he's wait, did I see that right? Hold on. Let's just, yeah, he's like if you count the horn, he's taller than Astromons, but in a way that you don't notice it, so you'll just think at first they're the same size, but he's slightly taller. Scale with Astromons is okay. I also decided to show him first since they both have the horn that goes over its head. So, yeah. That's what I wanted to show off. Oh, and I forgot the tag also features Ultraman Jack and the toy. It's pretty cool. Now let's get on to a, let's choose Tyrant. In fact, they look pretty good as villains and stuff. We'll also explain the history later. Unfortunately, the scale is not right, because since Black King is 65 and he is like 62, he should be much taller. But it kind of looks okay, I guess, if you don't care about the scaling. Although something I noticed is that the older version had a horn that was like curvier and stuff. It was like this. And I have a feeling that the particular version was probably a Black King's horn. But on this one, it's just more straight. So, I don't know. It's either an oil drinker's horn, which is also very similar, or it's a Black King's horn. It can't be Seagorse's. Seagorse's have, like, fins. So, yeah. Tyrant scale is not as great, but it's not terrible. You could make it out somehow. Let's compare it to a Choju. What about Vakishim from Ultraman Ace? Now I remember, I think Vakashim is like 65, so if he's 65, this should not be that bad because they would be the same size. Although I would usually expect the Chojus to be a little bit bigger than the regular kaiju, but this looks okay. It's not terrible. Looks fine to me, I guess. In fact, they were from the same series anyways, so yeah. What about an Ultra Hero? In fact, I actually have the correct one since he is from Ultraman Jack. Here's the return of Ultraman Jack. Okay, I was worried at first about the scale, but you know what? The scale is fantastic. You would think at first, no, it's not okay. He should be a little bit taller, but no, this is perfect. In fact, I'm going to use the ruler again. Look at this. He's taller than Ultraman Jack. Fantastic. Because that's actually the appropriate size. Since he is 60 and he is 40, he should be bigger like this. So the scale of the 500 Ultra Hero versus the AliExpress Black King is better. It's fantastic. I recommend getting this if you're into Black King. So, scale of Ultraman is good. What about the normal Ultraman? The normal one, for some reason, is taller. And it looks perfect, too. Maybe he should be a little bit taller, but it looks good. What about an oil refinery set? He looks pretty good with it, too. You could probably use that as, like, drinking cans, whatever, blah, blah, blah. What about King Crab? King Crab is probably the worst scale I ever had. Although, at the same time, I really do like him, so, yeah. The scale is not perfect. He should be much smaller. In fact, King Crab is like 80 meters. He's bigger like this. So, fortunately, the scale is not fantastic. What about Hanzagiran? Hanzagiran is too small. In fact, I forgot to show with the Astromons. For Astromons, I think it's okay, but for Black King, actually, it should be okay. I think he was small too, even though he's a Choju. I'm gonna put Astromons away. What else? What about Barba from Ultraman Ace? Unfortunately, it's the same problem. He should be a lot bigger, Barba, but it's okay. He still looks okay, but that's if you want a smaller one, but not aiming for a smaller one. Prefer larger. Is that all the... I want to make sure that's all of them. Did I take out all of them? Oh, here's one more from the same series. Brocken from Ultraman Ace. Oh, I forgot. That Vakashim one, Hanzagiran and King Crab, they were from Ultraman Ace. Just Googled them, and I did a review on them. Okay. The scale on it, at first you're gonna think, oh, he should be bigger, but no, this is actually perfect. He is 63 meters, and he is 65. So, if you, like, scale that, or if you think of it, this scaling is correct, because Black King should be taller than Brocken, even though you would think Brocken is this big monster, he should be a lot bigger. No, this scale is perfect, so scaling with Brocken is perfect. What about King Ghidorah? Maybe we'll have a bunch of kings, even King Kong, who some guy did a video on actually about. The scale looks okay. For King Ghidorah, it's because King Ghidorah is known as the largest monster in the kaiju universe, so his scale is perfect, although he should be a little bit bigger, but it works fine so far. What about Mechagodzilla? Since Mechagodzilla seems taller, he looks okay. But if you want him to be in the Showa size, this doesn't look as bad, although I think they should be the same size. I don't know, but It looks fine to me though. What about Duraco? We're just gonna have to say that it's okay, but it's not the best, because he should be a little bit bigger, but it's not gonna kill you as much. In fact, Duraco is 40 meters and he is 65. Whatever. I don't remember the size of Sedora, but if he's 60, he should be maybe the same size. I don't know. They look okay, I guess, but I don't know about Sedora. I forget the size of him, but I think he was like 70 or 60 meters, 50, I don't remember. But for me, it looks okay, I guess. What about Red King, since they look alike? This is actually perfect, because Red King is 40 meters and he is 65 meters, so this is correct. Way to go. What else is other figures? What about the 2019 Godzilla or the 2021 one? What about this particular Godzilla? Like with the Mecha Godzilla, if you're gonna scale him to 100 and he's like a little bit taller, this looks okay, but if you want him to be 50 meters, he's gonna have to be bigger than that. But, oh well. It looks okay, I guess. What about King Caesar? I don't remember the scale of King Caesar. It looks okay though, but if it's not, then sorry. I don't remember the scale of some of these monsters. It's been a while. What about Gamora? Gamora is perfect. He's 40 meters tall and he is 60, so that's good. Good scaling. What about King Kong? Since this is the 100-meter one, this actually looks perfect. Although for the 100 one, they would usually be bigger than this, but oh well. But if you want to scale him down to, let's say, 60 or 50 meters, he looks good, I guess. What about a Kraken? I don't know. It depends. Sometimes Krakens come in various sizes and things. Whatever. What about a Yeti? Maybe it could be Woo. I don't know. I don't think so. Especially with a Bigfoot like that or a Yeti, probably wouldn't be easy to fight. What about this one? Naronga looks good with Black King. Looks perfect. He's 40 meters also. What about a tractor trailer truck? Yeah, this looks pretty good. You probably like do stop motions with that. Oh well. The last one I have is Mr. Stay Puft from Ghostbusters. I believe Mr. Stay Puft would be 30 meters or maybe, I don't know, 40, it depends. If he's based on 100 meters, this would be good, but since he's 100 feet, and I think 100 feet would be 30 meters tall, this is not right. But if you want Stay Puft to be bigger than the others, it does look cool, so it kind of works. Not correctly, but for fantasy. But anyway, yeah. So overall, the scaling for Black King is half-ass, but mostly good. In fact, the best scale he ever had was with Ultraman Jack. That was like perfect. You see this? It's fantastic. You can even recreate the scene. And we're actually going to get to the history of it right now. So Black King, I forget the episode number he appeared in, or I forget the name. I think it was also a two-parter. In fact, it was one of those episodes to where they would feature a master, which, if you look, you see that dude that looks furry and stuff? Yeah, you see this furry looking dude? Yeah, that's Knuckle Sagen, or Alien Knuckle. It's a very strange name. I never, I keep calling him Knuckle, but it's Knackle. Very weird. Whatever. So now I'm not going to explain the story about Knackle since I don't have him. In fact, I don't even want to get him, and especially how I heard of the story. In fact, everyone has been saying that Knackle is nothing but just a piece of crap, and he actually really is. He's just as bad as Alien Hipporito and pretty much Yapul. I'm starting to even think they should even do a show together if they're so bad gas, whatever that is. Okay, never mind. Anyways, since I don't have Knackle Sajin, I'm just going to do the history of Black King. But all I will say is that Knackle Sajin is really a piece of crap. Sorry for my language. But if you Google Knackle Sajin or if you watch the episode, you'll see why. And it's not a joke. Anyway, yeah, we're going to get into the monster. So, he was a monster that was controlled by Alien Knackle, who was intended to, like, conquer Earth and stuff. I think he came from space also, I'm not so sure. The part I saw was when he came out of the ground and he was doing usual monster things, destroy things and stuff. Apparently, Knackle appeared, and obviously that's his master. I actually don't remember too much. All I know is that he is sent by Alien Knackle. In fact, the whole time he was mostly there as a distraction since they were fighting Alien Knackle and Black King. Here's the thing. Knackle wanted to kill, I think it's the host of Ultraman, but in a way that it was in a way that it was kind of easy for Alien Knackle, but he eventually, it kind of failed, but not in a good way though that it failed. In fact, you'll have to Google Knackle Sajin, because it's kind of spoiling, but all I'm just going to say is that he wanted to kill one of the hosts of Ultraman, so to do that, he decided to send out Black King as a distraction. In fact, he's known as the bodyguard monster anyways, because he's basically the bodyguard of Alien Knackle. Pretty cool though, actually. Bodyguard, like the subtitle. That's something that a celebrity would have. It's like celebrities have a bodyguard to defend and stuff. Even, politicians. But we're not going to get into that. So, since he was the bodyguard monster, he had to be a distraction to the crew members who were trying to defeat the, Alien Knackle and Black King. And actually, because Black King and Alien Knackle were so strong, and actually because of what Knackle Sajin did, Ultraman Jack was not able to get the upper hand, and he basically got beaten up by the two. And because he got beaten up, they both took Ultraman Jack to space and sent him to this strange place in space. Thankfully, Ultra 7 and the original Ultraman were able to rescue him. I actually didn't even know the original Ultraman also appeared, but I actually saw that part too. Eventually, they were able to get the upper hand. They somehow went back to Earth. I don't remember how. They just went back to Earth. They both kicked their butts, especially Ultraman Jack kicked Black King. And he did something to where he lifted him up in the air, and he used his hand, I call it the slice hand, to where when he went like this, his head got chopped off and fell, and just basically fell into the ground. And then Ultraman Jack beat the crap out of Knackle Sajin, and I couldn't remember what Knackle Sajin said, but he said something after he died, and then he just disappeared. So, yeah. Although, the thing I actually forgot to mention in the history is that you'll be in shock by this, but despite his looks, and even though he's not a choju either, in fact he's just a regular kaiju, he is pretty much invincible. He's probably the strangest monster I ever seen. Not his looks, but his powers. Yes, he'll have the generic laser, fire breath power, whatever, but he has two powers that are shocking. First off, if the Ultraman is trying to shoot a beam at him, he'll pretty much just do this. He'll just put his hands like this and just block it like nothing. And I'm like, how is that possible? I mean, for a human, they would be able to do that. Not like as a laser, but like, if you, I mean, obviously it's easy to block, but if you're trying to block yourself at like some laser beam or something, like, how is that possible? What did even shock me more was that Ultraman Jack had a bracelet. In fact, you can even see it on his hand. It doesn't actually do anything. Although in the show, he turned it into like a cutter knife thing that he froze.